Hey guys, welcome to Natural Aesthetics. Got some footage here from 3 different training sessions spread out over a 2-week period, all full body. Before we start though, I'd just like to mention that if you are watching on a desktop, you have the option to be able to watch all of my videos in 4K 60 FPS. I upload all of my videos with those settings. So if you click in the bottom right hand corner, you'll see a cog icon. You can change the settings there if you have decent enough internet speeds. It's just a much better viewing experience, much smoother and sharper videos. So I thought I'd mention that. Might seem obvious to some, but not for all. So at the moment, training's going really well. I've been doing about 6 weeks of full body now. It's been quite some time since the last time I did a full body routine, a good couple of years at least, I'd say. Pleased with the progress. I've seen some gradual improvements in strength over that 6-week period. Now, in my opinion, a full body routine is the most effective way of increasing strength, besides like a specialised routine where you're focusing on a certain body part or lift, for example, Smolov. Full body is fantastic. The reason for that is the high frequency. 3 sessions per week on a particular body part, as opposed to maybe 1 or 2 on a conventional bodybuilding split, or maybe like a push-pull or upper-lower training routine. So you have the most opportunity to train a certain movement or train a certain body part, and this, in my opinion, helps to accumulate greater levels of strength. It's also backed up by a decent level of research on training frequency, which shows that 2-3 bouts of training per week can lead to faster improvements in strength than a single training session, even when volume is the same per week. So there's definitely something to be said of improving or increasing your training frequency to yield quicker strength increases. I would say that now on some of the lifts, my pressing and upper body pulling, arm work, I'm approaching full, peak strength. The strongest that I've been kind of back in 2014, I guess. And I'm doing it at a lighter body weight as well. As I said, it's been a while since I've done the full body routine, but there have been some other reasons why I'm not as strong as I was back in 2014. I'm going to go over some of these reasons now. So first up, we've got body weight. I'm around 10 kilos lighter than when I was at my maximum strength back in around about 2014. So that makes a big difference. It's a reason why there are weight classes in so many sports, because the heavier guy has more potential to become stronger. It's a reason why a strongman competitor would continue to eat vast amounts of calories to increase their body weight. It's a misconception that like an athlete like that would just build muscle and just get heavier and heavier and heavier and be able to lift larger and larger weights. It's more really the fact that they eat so much food that they're able to then push their body weight up continuously, and that's then a catalyst for improved strength in the gym and therefore more muscle mass. Secondly, competitions. So I did a competition in 2015, had to diet for that whole kind of year, or 9 months of it. And in 2017 as well, prepared for about 7 months, and then had to actually stop that because of a scalp issue. But needless to say, during those 2 years, there's no real growth at all. It's mostly just trying to hang on to what you've got as a natural. Then we've got illness, injury. Luckily, over the last few years, I haven't had many injuries. I had a lot prior to maybe 2014. I had a lot. I think my training has changed somewhat. Don't really seem to have any major issues at all anymore. A few niggles, but they're easily worked around. But unfortunately, I had a few issues with health. In 2014, I had some nerve inflammation that really set me back. It was from a pre-workout supplement, as I mentioned in my last video. And for a good 6 to 9 months at least, I was really trying to recover strength. And at the beginning of 2014, I was my peak strength. Then I had this nerve inflammation, and then the end of 2014, I pretty much got back to where it was after a good kind of 9 months of grinding it back up. Especially my left side was so weak from the nerve inflammation. And then through 2017, I had issues with my scalp. and I had to take some medication, took antibiotics, Roaccutane, prednisone, which is a catabolic steroid. So, you know, it just wasn't the best time for muscle growth. I still train hard. You just feel like you're going through the motions because you're so fixated on trying to get yourself better. But it just wasn't conducive to building muscle, so I had that set back in 2017. Then in 2018, for the first kind of quarter of the year, I was still on the Roaccutane. I had stomach issues from taking the Roaccutane, so I had something called proctitis, which I had to deal with. Couldn't really keep any food down. Was going to the toilet, multiple times per day. Wasn't in good shape at all. Came off the Roaccutane. By that time the scalp had kind of pretty much, fully healed. There's just some scar tissue and stuff. Instead of taking more corticosteroids, which is what they recommended when I had this stomach issue, I just came off the Roaccutane, followed a strict diet, and pretty much now avoid, for the most part, gluten, dairy and sugar where possible. It's not all the time, but I'm able to kind of keep it in check by following sensible dietary habits, as opposed to relying on medicine, excuse me, which is what they would have you believe is the only way you can cure a problem, an autoimmune disease like proctitis, which is a inflammation of the colon, the lower colon. So the fourth and the most important factor would just be training goals, what you're trying to accomplish in the gym, and how does that reflect in your training program, and the variables, like tempo, reps, sets, volume, frequency, exercise selection, your training split, whether you're trying to focus on stimulating muscle or simply lifting weight. All of these factors have an influence on strength. So I think the biggest one for me was just after such a lengthy period of time focusing on full body and upper lower splits prior to 2015, I just kind of swerved away from that and placed nowhere near as much emphasis on squatting and deadlifting and overhead pressing, and more on kind of isolation movements and some machine work. And unfortunately, I don't think I was able to see the full effect of that because of the interruptions, like dieting for shows and health issues and whatnot. I would have liked to have a, steady long-term bulking period while I was doing that. But needless to say, I'm now doing a full body routine and my focus is on becoming strong. It's a priority. And I think I'll be able to surpass the levels that I reached in 2014 within this year. That's the goal. Next year, I aim to compete again. So thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to see more. And don't forget to click on the little gear icon near the subscribe bar to see any videos I upload automatically. Email naturalaesthetic@outlook.com for any info on online coaching. I do offer coaching for natural bodybuilders specifically at very affordable prices. Stay strong.